All right, so as most of you know, this is Ryan Clark, and he was let go by ESPN, a few days ago? But in this clip, he's going to showcase a fundamental misunderstanding of why he was removed. And it serves as a testament to the confusion that plagues woke Negroes. So let's get into it.
Yeah, and you're not a shy dude. Like you said, I know you ain't just sitting in the shadows with your head down. You're gonna address situations. But if it's not performance based, what's it based off of?
It's based off the fact that Ryan Clark thought that it was a good idea to try to be an activist at his place of employment. Now, he's not going to see it that way, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is.
Well, to address the head down thing, what makes me a little bit sad about myself is I did adjust who I was to try to keep my job.
Now, you see what he said? Now, that just goes to show you that he really doesn't believe the things that he says, because if he did, he would have conviction and he would have left ESPN on his own accord due to ESPN not being in line with how Ryan Clark views the world from a social perspective.
I did have meetings with people and say, okay, what is it that you need from me? Not the analyst. The analyst was damn good, right? If you care about the person that's on TV, what is it you need from me? Because I want to do that. I want to build a relationship. I want to involve you in the things I'm doing. You know, man, like this show.
See, this is why I say he's confused, because he thinks top level executives want to be his friend. No, they don't want to be your friend, Ryan. They just want you to do your job. And they pay you great money to do it. So when you choose not to do it, naturally there's going to be some problems.
For 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year. Because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black.
And see, this is what I mean when I say he's confused, because he talks all this stuff about how long he's been on ESPN and how he's a great analyst, but he doesn't understand who the NFL's main constituents are, which is conservative white males. Everybody knows that. So when you go on the platform and you puppet what you believe to be pro-black talking points, all you're doing is alienating their constituents, their main customer base. So naturally, as a business owner, which is how you should be looking at this, why wouldn't they let you go? The same customers that are responsible for you getting that huge salary that you get every year. It just doesn't make sense.
What makes me sad is, even in trying to adjust to be at least more of what certain people wanted, they still fired me. And so
why did you do it? You have your own platform. The second they told you that they did not like the things that you were saying, why didn't you leave? Now, for somebody else, I can understand, because maybe this is their only source of income, but you have an entire platform to yourself. You could have said whatever you wanted to say on this podcast, and oftentimes you do. So why did you not continue to pour into that? Could it be that you had more faith in the vision that ESPN had for you than the faith that you had in the vision that you had for yourself?
I think that is difficult. I think it's about some of who I am, and it's about certain executives not connecting to that, not supporting that, not wanting to champion that, not wanting to give that the vast platform that is ESPN. And I think they utilized it to make an example of me.
Well, Ryan Clark, ESPN is a sports show. It's always been like that. So I guarantee you, if you went up there and was talking about space or archaeology, they would probably sit you down and say the same things. Hey, this is a sports platform, and we would appreciate if you talk about sports, because that's why we're paying you. So you don't get to take a paycheck from them and then try to do what you want to do. Every last one of us, to a certain degree, have to conform, whether that means wearing a certain uniform, showing up at a certain time, speaking a certain way. It's called being a professional.
RC, you called some people to figure out what you can do. Did anybody give you a heads up?
Yeah, I gotten some heads up. I mean, summer ago.
So these people that he's implying are so racist and had a huge problem with him gave him every opportunity to stop the behavior that he was doing, and he chose not to. So what happened, Ryan Clark, was you were insubordinate. And because you were insubordinate, you were let go. Now, what you're trying to do now is try to make it seem like it was a race issue. They didn't like how pro black you were. When the truth is, they didn't like that you were talking about other topics outside of football. This is why I mentioned the other topics. He could have went up there talking about anything outside of football and they would have had a problem with it because it's a sports show.
Stephen A sat with me, took me to lunch in Los Angeles. And he told me, he said, there's a particular executive that doesn't like you. Now, let me be honest. I had been hearing this for years, right? It had gotten to me so many times. And so having that dinner or that lunch with Stephen A was just confirmation of it. He's like, you need to go set a meeting. But so many times when I heard about this particular person, it was, he doesn't like you or he's said this negatively. So I'd heard it a ton of times. And I got a call this off season from someone within the building. And, they said the way I stand up for our community is commendable, right? That they respected that in my position, I had a passion for that.
You know what this is right here? This is Ryan Clark trying to appease and appeal to all his Twitter followers or ex followers. All these nameless faces on these profiles that he'll never meet, he'll never see in real life, but he's so invested in. These are the same people that are going to hype you up and push you towards doing something like this. And then once you lose your job, those same people are not going to offer you a way out. They're not going to offer you a job. They're not going to offer you a place to stay. This is why it's so important to keep things in their proper perspective. The internet, but social media in particular, is full of sensationalism. The algorithms are calibrated to constantly push to your feed extremes because they're trying to provoke emotion out of you. They want you to be illogical, so then you go out and do dumb things, like what Ryan Clark did.
But they also said it had created enemies for me at the executive level. It had created opposition, and that there were people within that building that were going to stand on the table for me. And it was such a shock because I thought to myself, in the most important year in ESPN football, you gotta stand on the table for me? Like for me. Like there's somebody that needs to be convinced that our NFL coverage is elevated when I'm on TV. Like there's a person that knows football. There's a person that knows TV that thinks that 13 years in the NFL, Super Bowl, Pro Bowler, a captain, experience from being an undrafted free agent to trying to make the team to being one of the leaders in the locker room. 12 years of doing this. You got to convince that person that I should be doing TV.
Again, he's confused because everything he mentioned was football related. But the reason why he was let go had nothing to do with football. No one was ever questioning his football acumen or his credibility as an analyst. Everybody knows he's got that down pat. The issue that they had is when he was trying to bring activism into the workplace. And I have a question. Show me the poll where people want sports and politics together. See, even back in the day, there was a reason why things were on different channels, because if you wanted that, there was a specific place that you can go to get it. And what these guys have done was try to start blending things, and nobody really wants it. And it's evident, yet they keep doing it. And all this really is their deep rooted desire to be accepted by white people. That's all it boils down to. And these cats get so confused because they play in both sides. On one side, they're the most pro-black person in the world. They talking about quote unquote black people all the time with their friends or whatever on social media. And then when they go to work around the water cooler, when they're talking to Brad and John or whatever, all of a sudden those things don't exist. But that's the part of them that the social media audience does not get to see. It's about understanding your situation. Ryan Clark tricked himself out of his own spot. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.